In Spanish.
My name is Gerard Barrios, and I am delighted to be with you. Thank you, each of you, for joining us for our march for equality. I am honored. My husband and my 2 children are here with me, and we are honored to be with you today on this journey. Here in Washington, we debate certain legal rights. You've heard them today: employment non-discrimination, marriage, hate crimes, don't ask, don't tell. But the road to equality doesn't begin here. It never does. Our impatient march begins in far more humble places than Capitol Hill. At the office water cooler, at the Friday night fish fry, at that Facebook page staring at you from your laptop, or the dining room filled with family for Sunday supper. In these plain-spoken places, it isn't legislation, it isn't a lawsuit that moves us forward. It is our stories that we tell about our lives. Our equality won't be achieved here, but far from this lawn, far from this Capitol, far from this symbolic place. Our equality is born in living rooms, on blogs, on baseball diamonds, and on your work break. One by one, story by story, we help families, friends, and strangers understand our aspirations and our barriers. Because you see, they don't know our barriers. They don't know that in 29 states, if you're gay, lesbian, or bisexual, you can be fired on your job. They don't know that in 38 states, you can be fired for being transgender. They don't know that 4 times more likely if you're a gay teen, you're going to commit suicide because of the bullying and the violence that you face. They don't know. They don't understand that we pay our taxes. They don't understand that it's doing that we have a right to Social Security benefits and pensions, but we can't get them. They don't understand that we need them for our families. Our own stories, told every day to the people who need to hear them the most. It is the most impactful way of winning our equality. And it is how we will finally marshal this nation towards fulfilling its promise and our dreams. Not a bold campaign pledge from a candidate or an unmet promise from a president. No one in this city will ever be our savior. And all of the wishing and the hoping and the dreaming and the waiting will not make it so. For those who have journeyed from other places, look back to where you came from. That is your answer. There lies our equality. That is how we will achieve the democracy envisioned by our founders and promised every time we pledge one nation under God with liberty and justice for all. For all. As a child, you learned what America meant the day you were taught the words in our nation's history, that these truths are self-evident, that all people were created equal with unalienable rights to life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness. We're taught that in our America. And today we reflect on those hallowed words and ask with humility and in patience, doesn't all people mean us too? Doesn't all mean all? We believe that in our America and in our nation. If you ask these questions, if you tell your story, if you lead your life steadfast in valuing and respecting everyone, and asking only of others that they do the same for us. In America, we call that progress. That is how America works. You see, it's like a story. Once you've told it, you can't untell it. Progress. Once you've helped somebody realize you've changed their heart and their mind, that's progress. You can't undo it. That's the story of America. A never-ending journey towards greater inclusion. Progress. And it won't be easy, and I suspect you all know that. That's why you're here on this remarkable day in this storied city. But don't look here for the answer. No politician will be our Messiah. What we have is ourselves and our allies and our stories. But in America, with these things, that's always been enough. Thank you.
Based on the values passed down to her from her grandfather. The fight for civil rights, social justice, and labor equality. Please welcome Cesar Chavez!
Thank you. I just wanted to say, I'll be very brief. I know it's been a long day. I just want to say thank you so much for inviting me to be here, and thank you for inviting me to be part of this movement. Over 20 years ago, my grandfather, Cesar Chavez, stood here and declared his unwavering support for the LGBT community. So today, it's an honor for me to stand in the shadows of his legacy to demonstrate unity and solidarity with couples who are denied the fundamental right to marry. I want to share a brief story. Several years ago, I had the privilege of attending the state funeral in California of Rosa Parks. And there was a poet there. And while she was eulogizing Mrs. Parks, she was explaining to us that on that day that Mrs. Parks refused to give up her seat, she was not only physically tired of working a whole day, but she was also mentally tired of not fighting back. The poet then went on to ask all of us, what is it that you're tired of? So this is the list that I came up with. I'm tired that as a woman, as a Latina, I'm constantly having to defend my right to choose. I'm tired that the dropout rate among our African American and Latino children continues to grow at an alarming rate. And I'm tired that immigrants who put food on our tables and work in our hotels and factories continue to live in the shadows because we can't come up with good immigration policy. But I am especially tired that gay and lesbians in this country aren't given all the same rights that were given to my husband Oscar and I when we said I do, and I want to fight with you. So please, please, continue the fight. And like my grandfather used to say, sí se puede, yes we can. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. I know that it's been a very long day for you, and it's been a very long day for all of us, and I thank you for waiting. There's some very important people that want to share a message, but I want to share just a quick, brief message for Mr. President. I have dreamed of the day you would serve in the White House since watching you speak at the 2004 Democratic National Convention. When you spoke the words, "We are not a straight America or a gay America, but the U.S. of America." I fell in love with your persuasive rhetoric of inclusion and change. And from that moment, I promoted you, I defended you, even choosing to campaign against a woman to become the first president of the United States of America. And now I wait. Wait as people have claimed that we must give you time. Wait as I have watched you have time to overturn policies that were set in place by the Bush administration, and my family suffers because of the discrimination of Proposition 8. I believed in you, and I still believe in you. I'll be honest, last night I even wanted to believe in you again because I fell in love with your beautiful persuasion when you spoke to CNN and the Human Rights Campaign. But we are past the point of wondering if you know how to speak about the rights we deserve. This is not a Cliff Notes test on what you know about LGBT struggles. It is time to take action and speak against the discrimination that is about to happen in states like Maine and Washington and possibly the District of Columbia, and happened recently in the state of California and can happen again. I know you can identify our struggles. I want evidence that you can be a fierce advocate for my children and for the LGBT community. I have 2 young children that deserve the same dignity. that Martin Luther King's children dreamed of in 1963. And I am not happy enough with an Easter egg roll on the lawn of the White House, because that's just like a ticket on the back of the bus. And I am not the type of mother that will raise my children to worship a president that he believes in. And I am begging you, President Obama, to listen to the people that are speaking to you today, from the streets of activism to the streets of activism, because we do believe in you, and I want you to produce the courage to change the way the fabric of this country has been built to discriminate and oppress people for far too long. Thank you, and please welcome the Congressional District Action Team leaders.